let's spin things forward here past the All-Star game and talk a little bit more about this second half of the season. And as our vehicle for this, Dave, we're going to do a little agree or disagree. Sound good?
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's start out west with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who looked like through the first 3 months of the season, they were just going to cruise right back to another World Series title. But then injuries started to pile up, especially on the pitching side of things, and it led to them losing 7 of their last 9 heading into the All-Star break. So, agree or disagree, the Dodgers will represent the NL in the World Series in 2025.
I'm going to go disagree.
Wow.
Now, first of all, it's hard to repeat in baseball. No team has repeated since the Yankees won 3 in a row from 98 to 2000. But I have a lot of issues with the Dodgers right now. What's wrong with Mookie Betts? OPS under 700. Freddie Freeman has really been slumping of late. Shohei, he's great. Hasn't hit as well since he started pitching. And then you mentioned all the injury. Blake Snell, is he on the team? Is he going to come back? Who's going to step up as that number 2 starter behind Yamamoto? Maybe it's Ohtani. Maybe it's Clayton Kershaw. Just some bullpen. Tanner Scott, 7 blown saves. Are they going to get a closer at the trade deadline? A lot of issues there. And then the Mets are good, the Phillies are good, the Cubs are good. A lot of tough teams there in the NL.
With all of the money that the Dodgers have spent, I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, what more do we need, right? Like, how much more money?
But that's the great thing about baseball. Nothing is guaranteed. This isn't the NFL or the NBA where usually one of the top 2 seeds, right, are guaranteed to reach the finals. Baseball, it's hard. And I know the Dodgers, they're trying to line up their ducks so they're healthy in October, hoping that their hitters are back in sync in October. So they got 2 months to sort that out. They're still a very good team. They might win 100 games. They're not the Rockies, let's put it that way.
Right.
But they do have some holes.
The Dodgers World Series opponent a year ago, the New York Yankees, similarly have some injuries of their own, and they too have faltered a little bit heading into the All-Star break. First, it was Garrett Cole out for the season, Clark Schmidt, most recently Max Fried with that blister on his hand, although he's saying, I hope I don't have to miss any time with the time off that he has right now. Yankees sit 2 games back from the Jays in the AL East. Agree or disagree, Dave? The Yankees, this could light a fire under some folks, the Yankees will not make the playoffs.
Look. They have some issues, right? Yeah, their bullpen is only 24th in ERA. Devin Williams looks like he's settled down. Luke Weaver, not quite as dominant as last year. Maybe they get a starter to replace Schmidt. But it's the Yankees. They haven't missed the playoffs since when? 2015, somewhere in there.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time since we had a losing season. They missed the playoffs once in a while. That's been a decade. They're going to make the playoffs. They might not win the division, but they will be there in October.
Aaron Boone, when asked to describe the first half of the season for the Yankees, responded with incomplete. I would probably throw inconsistent in there as well. They had 2 separate 6-game losing streaks over the last month, right? The back end of the bullpen, Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, I mean, it doesn't do you much good to have those guys down there if you don't get it to them with a lead, right? But they too have been a little bit inconsistent. The defense has been head-scratching at times. The Anthony Volpe situation, like nobody really knows what's going on with that. But when you're talking money with the Dodgers and the Yankees, and you're talking expectations, it's World Series or bust really for both of these teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, the Yankees are going to do something, I think, pretty big at the trade deadline. Maybe it's a third baseman. We'll get into that. Maybe it is some pitching help.
Right.
To me, the keys are going to be 2 guys that were really hot early in the year, Trent Grisham and Paul Goldschmidt. What are they going to do in the second half? Because we know Aaron Judge is going to produce. Jazz Chisholm, he's come on. He's going to hit his home runs. But is that lineup going to have the depth to be a powerhouse team? Because I think the lineup's going to have to carry the pitching staff.
We have talked Cal Raleigh and his incredible home run derby performance that he put on last night, but how about the remarkable first half of the season, which we also touched upon, leading the league and in major leagues in homers and RBIs. But there's also that Aaron Judge guy out there in New York, and he's still doing remarkable things, things that we just quite frankly have not seen before. So agree or disagree, Dave, Cal Raleigh over Aaron Judge for AL MVP.
Man, this is shaping up as an all-time MVP race, right, Sam? Like, if Cal Raleigh hits 50 or 60 home runs as a catcher, can you deny him the MVP award? But I think you might, because Aaron Judge is having an all-time great season. He might get to 12 WAR.
Sure.
The voters put a lot of value on WAR now. Only 5 players have ever got to 12 WAR, and 3 of those are Babe Ruth.
Pretty good.
So
pretty good
that's a pretty good standard to reach. So I think Aaron Judge is still the favorite, and that's hard to say with their season Cal Raleigh's having.